Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Nope, Randy, Triple B. As you can see, it's just me flying solo tonight. Uh, Sean wasn't feeling great, so I was like, you know what, show's got to go on. So here I am. So it's gonna be kind of a weird, weird show, like the other two have been. Pressing area set up the last time out of Steam. Oh, well, as long as you're not dunking books in water and dropping them in rice. So, real quick, just want to say we will eventually have that 500 sub giveaway. We got to work some stuff out, find a good comment picker or something like that to do it. Um, we are now up to 523 subs, which is super awesome. Like I can't describe to y'all how awesome that feels. Um, But we are also on the experience side, five away from 3,000. So that's really exciting too. Um, just want to give a real quick shout out to another person who they actually had a live going on the same time as us. We didn't plan it that way, but if you have not yet, go and check out K-pop Junkie. I'm gonna post her YouTube in the chat there. Thank you, Triple B. Appreciate that. Um, she's like the live queen. I think she did two lives in a row today, and I think either every other day or every couple of days, something like that. She's always going live. So if you haven't checked K-pop Junkie out yet, go ahead, please. That's it's the exact thing that I want to. I'm gonna have to check that one out, Randy. Dipping water. I just don't know about that. What I want to kind of shepherd here, like the mission statement for the channel is Triple B has a channel. Please go watch Triple B, whether it's the BBB Hardcore Comics or the the horror channel, which I don't know why I forget the name of the horror channel, but he's got two great channels. Again, outside of John Cole, I don't know anybody else who could talk about Dynamite like Triple B does. So make sure you're checking them out. And that's what I want to do. To me, it doesn't matter if y'all are watching us or there's another channel you see. As long as the comic YouTube space is providing you with something cool to watch, that's that's the best thing I think that could happen. Um, so part of the plan that we were going to do tonight was haunted basement. Thank you, Triple B. He's too hardcore for Oh, Randy, that's great. That is great. Um, we were going to show off the Batman books we got in because I can't remember if we showed that off last stream. So he's not here to show his off, but here it is actually in the physical form. That's just the A cover because, like I said, I'm not real big on. A cover really has to catch my eye, kind of like this next one because he and I both got these logo foils. So really dope. Again, it's one of those, it's not just a pretty cover, it's a really, really great book. And it does make me excited for all the other ones. And we just found out that, see, there's going to be a Flash one. And these are coming after, I think it's Wonder Woman next, then Superman, or Superman, then Wonder Woman. I forget the order off the top of my head. It's been a very long day, folks. Um, so we're also gonna have an Absolute Flash. an absolute Green Lantern, and I really dig this cover. And then we're going to have an absolute Martian Manhunter. I don't know if they have talked about it yet or not, but yeah, I would really like to see a Green Lantern. Now, I don't know if they've already announced that. It's been a while since I've checked anything. Like I said, been super busy the last 2 days. But this absolute line, I'm hoping this is gonna be. I like Dark Knight's metal. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Dark Knight stuff lasted a bit too long for my taste. Like the metal stuff was cool. Yes, yeah, Randy. Manhunter is one of those characters like Spectre and Deadman that I think they're super. To me, they're super awesome, and I don't get how they're not more popular. But I think out of those three, Martian Manhunter is definitely more popular than Spectre and Deadman. But like I said, I do like obscure characters. Like I want to see a Creeper movie or show or something so bad. I don't know why. Just the dude has the power of laughter. I don't know, but it seems crazy to me. So we got that, and I was gonna ask Sean his opinions on Absolute Batman, but since he's not here, and you folks are, I'm gonna ask you in the chat: have you read Absolute Batman yet, and what did you think of it? I'm really interested to hear what you got to say about it. So if you've read it, let me know in the chat, and I'll come back to it because I got another question for y'all. So some of the news that came out of NYCC was that they're bringing back Vertigo. Vertigo is their creator-owned line of comics, kind of like how Image is, where the creators own what they create, which I think that's a fantastic idea, honestly. Um, but personally, I'd never read too much of the Vertigo line. So, if any of you have, do you have some favorite storylines? Maybe something you could suggest for me to check out? Because, like I said, I love taking people's suggestions. So, if you got a suggestion on the Vertigo stuff, drop them in the chat and I can write them down so I can read them later. But I think that's really cool. I I wish more companies would do that. Because there have been a lot of unfortunate instances where creators came up with this awesome character, and after they leave said company, they're not allowed to use it anymore. So I think having a creator-owned section, because I thought it was the DC Black Label stuff that was supposed to be like that, but apparently that's just their, I guess the Marvel Max line for DC was the Black Label stuff. But like I said, it's exciting. I don't know a whole lot about Vertigo, like I said, but I'm super interested to get into it. I mean, new comics are new comics for me. Um, Now I know I don't think he's here in the room, and that's okay. But let's see, something different, more violent. Still not sure how I feel about Alfred. No, I got you. Like I can see that. It's small spoilers in case nobody's read it. They kind of like really lean into that backstory of Alfred being like not like a soldier. I think that's what he was. He is in some stories. He was a soldier. He worked for the Royal Navy or something like that. It's sometimes comics are so convoluted and backstories change so many times. Sometimes I can't keep up with them. But but like I said, I think Alfred is okay for now, but we'll see. Still, this is going to be something that I'm going to get an issue of, because that's how I collect things, an issue or two, and if I really like it, I wait for the trade. Mainly because I like to read everything all the way through. So there you go. There you go. Lorena, you just what did you call it? Something the babes. Like you're poning news, but you called it something pretty funny last night on Nancy's show. Something babies or babes. I can't remember, but thanks for being here. Um, so again, I know that like that's the bets. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Nope. Like I'm excited to see where they go, but it's one of those things where like I'm reading. I've reread this thing several times, and every time I read it, I'm just like, this is so different, but so familiar at the same time, and it makes me like I'm excited for the absolute line. Like if the other stories can pull it together like this has, this is gonna be this is gonna be huge for DC. And I'm a big Scott Snyder fan as far as writing. I've said that a couple times now. Um, I'm a big fan of his work. Um, Now, the Xmas noobs, that's hilarious. um, Now, unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be here, but I wanna show something off that EXP community member Corey Rust has just been basically Corey Claus on the Comic Collectibles show, and we were doing a show a couple Mondays ago, and Rex said something about, "Oh, this cover's really cool," and well, that's okay. We all got preferences, Randy. Well, hopefully, maybe some hype around it might get you to check it out because I'm still excited for that one too. But anyway, getting off track. Um, so I was like, no, there's a cover in here that's super dope. And when I showed it, I was like, yep, that's the one. And Corey Corey bought this for me. Like, look at this, y'all. Look at that. That's Green Lantern #1, or I think it's Beware My Power Green Lantern. I can't remember what it's called, but that's a Dan Neidlinger cover. Look at that thing, y'all. Like I saw this and I was like, that is just amazing. Like I love Joker, but man, hey, there is another person right there, folks. If you have not checked him out, Bearded Comic Bro. Oh, what's up, brother? Thank you for stopping by. It's just me tonight, but yeah, just like look at that. I can't get over like it's one of those things, y'all. Thank you. That's Dan Neidlinger. I think I'm saying his name right. I'm not great with names, but yeah, I saw this thing, y'all, and when Corey got it for me, I tried to thank him on the air and I got choked up because things like that. Sometimes people think that you're a great guy. Let me get you something, and I don't want to say they blow it off, but they don't. I don't think folks get how like much that stuff means to me. Like people who barely know me. I mean, Randy's done the same thing. Has bought me things, and I'm so appreciative of that stuff, y'all. Like I just hope everybody knows that. But then, Triple B, if you're still here, I got another the Brian Michael Bendis Superman. So the one they sent me in my last order was the 1000. This one was the one that you actually got for me. So this one finally came in. It came in with that Joker. That is awesome, Randy. I'm telling you, Bearded is so great. I love his channel. He and and Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, those are the folks that we like tried to model ourselves after when it comes to like positivity and things like that. Absolutely, absolutely, Randy. And bearded, that's exactly what I hope we bring. You know, we want to uplift, we want to make it positive, we want to shout out other YouTube, comic book folks, and we just want everybody to have a good time. Everybody's welcome. Everybody can nerd out. Speaking of which, I got some other things I want to show off for everyone. Some stuff I was going through my collection. Or is that? I thought it said Dan. I think that's Dan Jurgens. Oh, that glare. I think that's Dan Jurgens. Oh, Bearded, love you, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. My other light just went out. Then I got a book that I've always confused with a World's Finest, but it's not World's Finest. And Kyle actually got me this for Christmas. Did it? Am I still stuck? Man, let me know if I'm still stuck, man. Oh, hold on. Let me find it here. I am terrible at reading terrible handwriting. Okay, cool. Like, I don't know what has been up with my internet. It feels like Rex and them are contagious. Hopefully, you got that. Maybe. Okay. Um, the cool thing about that is, for one, it's man's legend, the man who killed Superman, but I still love him, still forgive him. Um, Another perk of my job is Miss Jen interviewed him once, and I got to talk to him for a little bit, and that was just another Jay overly emotional, almost crying, talking to. That's the best part of my job is being able to talk to these folks, though. I love that. But so Kyle got me this for Christmas. It's actually Superman 199. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I always thought that this was a world's finest for some reason. And then for Lorena, wanted to show you this. I forgot I even had this. Little Smallville action right there. I don't think this is a number one. I think this is just like a special. But I do have another. I think it is, Randy. I think it's the first race, but I think I have a number one of this Smallville. But it's one of those. It was. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I also get weirdly nervous trying to take it out. Like I want to put it in the safe, and then okay. See, and it's weird because I don't think this says Dan anywhere, but now that I'm looking at it, So you got. I just noticed you have. So you have this one, but then you come over here, and you also have breeding signature right there. Huh. The more I look at it, I think it is Jurgens. I think it is. But I mean, it's a reign of Superman. I have so many of those books. I just I have really bad copies of those books, and I have some okayish copies. I got a lot of books in my collection that we just picked up at yard sales, or some of your comic shops will have the books that don't have covers in a box. As long as I can read it, I'm good with it. Then for fans of metal covers, I wanted to show y'all these. I got some of my Garrett Gunn, Dr. Christina Blanche, Good Boy metal covers, and just wanted to show off again. Exactly. Exactly, Randy. Just wanted to show off again the paint pen. And these were signed like almost 2 years ago, I think. Probably close to that by now. So it just goes to show you the metal covers with these paint pens. Oh yeah, bearded. And it, the best part about this book is it's if you've never heard of it, it's a like reverse John Wick. It's a world where John dies, and his name is Sparks, John Sparks, and his dog Flint is the one who seeks revenge. Uh, and not only that, but Doctor Christie and Garrett are just like the most awesome people. I talk to Garrett every once in a while, but he's always one of those people that I can message him something, and he may not get back to me right away, but he'll always answer me, and I really appreciate that from from comic creators that do that. The good boy. You know what's funny about that? Nope, I couldn't find it last time. I love this thing. Ugh, let me get the camera angle right. Yeah. Hope you enjoy it, boss. I love this book. Here, I got a couple more of these metal covers I wanted to. The hardest thing about the metal covers, though, is the glare. You think the glare on regular books is insane? Look at that. See if I get it. Well, if I get it more in the frame. There we go. And I think that's the one I use as the picture for comic collectibles. One day I was trying to show Corey what the paint pens look like. Well, that's Randy. Like you said earlier, it's personal preference. You know, I am more of a like I said, get an issue or two, and if I really like it, I'll wait for the trade. Yeah, bearded because I like reading everything through without having to open you know 12 issues of something. I just read through the trade. And here's that book they sent me last time. Still signed, so still cool. Got that COA in the back there. I'm pretty sure this is the Nicola Barucci. Yeah, the weirdest part, nope, about that book is I think the slipcover was it cost more to have the slipcover, so I didn't. I can show you real quick. Hold on. There's something that came with it. I'll show you. So when we first backed Good Boy, it came with a coin, and once it got to a certain issue number, the size of the coin changed. Let me show you this thing. That's a big old metal coin came with it. But it's there we go. It's a really dope book. If you haven't read any of it, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Got a couple more things. Wanted to show off this. I did a video on this, but I just wanted to show this off again because I had never heard or seen this. Oh, absolutely, Triple B. Love you too, boss. Thanks for hanging out. This one, Larsman and Castle got for me. I haven't cracked it open yet, but I need to because I really want to read it. And then I got some random stuff. There's a yeah, exactly, exactly, bearded. I just gotta be careful not to crack myself in the head with it. Man, I am not. There we go. Scotty Young, Aliens versus Avengers. Then Jenna picked up Venom War Zombie Oats. This cover is just insane, but really dope. And then I haven't opened this up yet, but it's the Werewolf by Night Red Band. And Werewolf by Night is one of those characters that I've always been interested in, and you know the only the only time that I had seen Werewolf by Night, if I'm being completely honest, is there's an episode of Ultimate Spider-Man where it was Blade and the Howling Commandos. Now they called it Blade and the Howling Commandos, but Jack Russell was the actual leader, so not exactly sure what they did that for. But ever since then, I've been interested in the character, and there was oh goodness, I'm blanking now. So something else that happened at New York Comic Con was they ended up yeah they ended up showing a second Creature Commandos trailer. I watched it, and I'll say same thing I said when I watched it. It looks cool. It does, don't get me wrong, but kind of like the multiverse thing, I'm kind of getting a little tired of ragtag team of villains and underdogs, because it looks like we're also getting something like that with Thunderbolts. Like everything's getting kind of Suicide Squatty. Uh, I mean, it still looks like fun, but it really feels like it's you know Harley Quinn mixed with Suicide Squad mixed with monsters. But again, outside of a DC showcase that came with one of the DCAU movies, I know nothing of Creature Commandos. So much like Shang-Chi and characters like that I knew nothing of, being able to watch them is exciting for me. Like I'm excited to see this. Don't get me wrong. It's just I just kind of wonder how many more times we're going to go to that well of Suicide Squad. Huh. No, Johnny Dome, I haven't seen that. And I believe I've seen you in other chats before. I think we kind of watch the same people, but good to have you on, boss. Thank you for showing up. Huh, that's hmm. I'm trying to imagine what that would be like. Wow. Like that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard for me to think of what they would do with that unless they were using like King Shark or something. But I just, again, since it's not Sean here and it's me talking to y'all, I want to know, what did y'all see the trailer yet? What do you think of Creature Commandos? Is this something that you could be into? Is it something you're interested in? Is it kind of like a pass for you? I'm really curious because, like I said, I know nothing about Creature Commandos, so I'm excited just to learn something about them. But then there was also, it came out, they made a show. Oh wow, no, I didn't see that. Huh? That sounds cool though. Like I'd be down to watch something DC like that. Uh, then we have the crypto news, which I'm okay with. Like I'm not like over the moon. We had to have crypto in this universe, but if they're gonna add them, it's to me it's not gonna take away or hurt anything. Uh, and well, see, the Creature Commandos is gonna be a Max. Is it? I can't even remember. Like a Max original, so it's gonna be a streaming cartoon. What a I've seen some weird arguments online about how crypto's not a lab. I'm like, he's a super alien dog. I mean, and other people were like, wow, James Gunn really likes us talking animals, and James Gunn is like, he's a dog. He's not going to talk. He's going to bark. It's a weird thing. Like I'm excited for the DCU stuff. Being a DCEU fan, I'm still very excited to see where we go with this thing. But I think it's kind of bold to put crypto in there. I think it is. I think it's a bold choice. It's going to be his first. Yeah, and Bearded, that's understandable, man. Like I get that. There's very few things I actually go to the movies for. Superman's going to be one of them. You bet your bet your bottom dollar that that movie comes out, I'm going to be in the theater for that. Oh, okay. All right. Nope. I didn't see when James Gunn started announcing what some of these movies were, what comics they were going to be based off of, or pull some inspiration from. I was making a list. So far, though, I only got All Star Superman. But I really want to read that Woman of Tomorrow storyline, and if that's true, then that makes perfect sense. Like I get that, and like it does. Having crypto doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Like, cool. First time we're going to see him on the big screen in live action. And Randy, you're absolutely right. Like, here's the thing, y'all, and I don't want to get like super duper ranty, but I probably will with this. There have been other people that have portrayed these characters. Now, I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I know a lot of people didn't, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You didn't like him, cool. I'm not gonna try to convince you he was great or that to my way of thinking. Uh, well, Bearded, if you say that, man, it's going up there. It is going up there. But you know, I love the DCU stuff, and the general audiences didn't, and it sucks because I wanted to see it finished. But you know what? I'm not going to be one of these people that's just like, hey, let's hope this fails. Like, why would you want this? Is something that 5-year-old me dreamed about. I would have never thought in my lifetime we were going to have all these superhero movies. There's almost like too many sometimes, but not too many for me. But, you know, Johnny Dome, I completely understand that point too. I do feel like they tried to make Harley a little too like Deadpool, so I completely get that. But you know, I'm not gonna go into this new universe being upset. You know, I was already upset. I can admit that. You know, because I wanted to see Henry Cavill stay as Superman, but again, I I don't have a this is my least favorite Superman. I'm way too biased when it comes to Superman. It's like, oh, it's Superman. I love it. That's just how I am. That's how I've always been. So I'm excited to see what David brings to the role. I've never watched anything he's done, so I have no opinion. But there was something that Gunn said, and I get it, y'all. When people were like, "Oh, well, they're just trying to push their movie, so you want to watch it." Well, yeah. I mean, people aren't going to come out and be like, "Hey, don't watch my movie. It sucks." But you know, I trust James Gunn. I do because I've loved pretty much everything he's done. There's not really too much stuff I'm like, not for me. I mean, there was some things that he's done with characters where I don't 1,000% agree with it, but it's fine. Um, but you know, I totally lost my train of thought with what I was going with there. I get sidetracked very easily. Uh, but this is one of those things where I really hope that all the naysayers will at least try because a lot of us have waited many years. I've been waiting since 2013 to get another Superman movie. I I know that I guess technically BVS is the sequel, but I don't count that as a Superman movie. Um, and again, Henry's not even my favorite Superman. He's up there, but he's not because he was Superman, but he wasn't Clark at the same time. And I've had it wrong for a long time where I was like, you know, Clark is the mask and Superman is who he is. And I've had it backwards. And I a couple months ago came to the realization, no, that's wrong. Superman is what he can do. Clark is who he is. Yeah. And that's again, that's completely fair. Like, you know, that's the thing that I hope that people that watch this channel and you know who interact with me understand that I can dislike something that you like. And that doesn't mean that I think you're an idiot or I hate you or you know this thing you love sucks. That's I never want anybody to think that. I want people to be able to be like, I like this. Okay, well, it's not for me. Or I tell you, hey, I really dig this, and you're like, well, it's not for me. And then we move on. Like we can still have a civil conversation. Well, and again, Randy, that's perfectly fair. Trust me. I bought the extended cut of that movie, and there are some scenes in there that make even less sense being being put back into the movie. And you know, Mark Strong to me was the best part. Mark Strong was the best part. His Sinestro was amazing. If they were going to recast that, I'd want it to be like Luke Evans or somebody. If because I don't unless we can get Mark Strong back, I'm not opposed to that either. Yeah, I didn't like Fury of the Gods as much as Shazam, but it's one of those things where I think it got a little unneeded hatred. But you know, there's going to be people that don't. Oh, sorry, y'all, my throat is dry today. There's going to be people that are going to love this stuff. There's going to be some people that don't. And the thing is just I watch and I won't call the channel out because I do not want to be that channel. Yes. Nope. Again, I definitely agree with that. See, and again, Randy, I agreed with that. I did enjoy Black Adam. I've watched it multiple times, and I know it's not for everyone, and that's fine. But I can also tell you my favorite part of that movie is one that people kind of rag on, and that's Henry Cavill showing up at the end of it. And the reason is that is kind of the Superman we should have had at the beginning of this. The bright, the hopeful, the spit curl, the theme. And again, I've lost my train of thought, but don't worry, folks. I'll eventually find my way back to it. But there's going to be stuff in this that isn't going to be a hit. I don't think every single project is going to be for me, and that's fine. Not everything is going to be for me, but this is going to be for someone. Like this Superman. I don't really doubt that I'm going to like it or love it. I don't. But let's just, hypothetically speaking, say I don't. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to hop on, and I remember the other thought. I'll get back to it. I'm not going to hop on here and talk about how terrible it was and how I hope it fails because I didn't like it. What's up, brother? Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Bearded. Like I said, I get all over the place. It's cool having Sean here because Sean can kind of keep me on track. My brain just weird. But that channel is very negative. And I watch it because I want to hear both sides. Because I've been a person that has never been into the whole you either like DC or you like Marvel, you either like Star Wars or you like Star Trek or you like Lord of the Rings. I like it all. But this person's very negative. It doesn't matter what happens, they're very, very negative. But I don't return that negativity. There are times people say stuff that's like way far out there. It feels like they're really reaching for something just to be negative about it. And it's like, yo, do you know how hard it was growing up being a nerd? Like to be perfectly honest, even though I'm a short, small guy, I was never really bullied a whole lot. Like I kind of made friends with everyone. So I never understood like how you can pick on somebody for loving, comic books. And then you fast forward to now and it's like everyone loves comics. And that's awesome. But then unfortunately you have the small factor of folks that anything you like they want to tear down. And again, this is coming from somebody who was hardcore into the DCU, but I'm never going to to be that person to other people. I can't be that way. Exactly. It's the old tropey thing, and there's a reason it's called a trope and all that. Rising tides raise all ships. It just makes everybody step up their game to be better. And if people are out there thinking that the Marvel folks and DC folks are fighting, come on, y'all. Most of those people are friends. They congratulate each other on their movies. I just wish the fandom could be like that. I just, like I said, if I don't like the Superman movie, that's probably all you're going to hear from me. I'm not going to get on here and rant and trash it because even though that's not my Superman, that could be somebody else's Superman. And that's all I can hope for a character that I love is for him or her to become that spark, that nerd spark you get when you just fall in love with a comic book character. If that happens, that's the best I can hope for. See, there are a lot of parts to the Flash that I liked. I will not deny that. There are parts that I really didn't care for, but I started to like Ezra Miller a little bit more as the Flash. I had always felt after watching him that he was miscast. And that's nothing to say not to say that Ezra's a terrible actor, but he didn't feel like Barry to me. Ben Affleck as Jay Superman. Was that Hollywoodland he played Superman, where he was George Reeves? I think that was Hollywoodland. Jeez, it's a good movie though. Yeah, exactly, exactly, Eddie. They like these folks switch companies like almost all the time. It's like a contract runs out with this book. I'm gonna hop over here and do a book for these folks. I mean, man, whew, lots of talking. My throat gets real dry. I need to start drinking some water. Oh, you know it, Bearded. All Superman. Yeah, Grant Gustin was good, and I'm so mad in a nerdy way. Awesome, in a nerdy way that. And spoilers for anybody who never watched the Arrowverse Crisis stuff, which you should because it was pretty awesome. How we got one cameo there, but we didn't get that cameo over here. Ugh. Try not to spoil it, so hopefully that's not too vague. Yes, I the thing about streaming that's kind of getting to me is there's I can't remember what trilogy Jenna and I were trying to watch the other night, and one streaming service had one and three, and another one had the second one. I would love for there to be a channel. Oh, that's right, Eddie. A channel that played all those George Reeves Superman and the Max. And I always get this name wrong. I can never remember if it's Max Fleischer or Max Fleischman, but the old school cartoons. I really love those. The rotoscoped cartoons. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, uh, that's true too. It's weird how licenses and stuff with these things go. Yeah, Eddie, like I said, when I was a kid, Richard Fleischer, I thought they were Max Fleischer cartoons. Huh. Uh, I watched all old shows. Like when I was a kid, you know, like I'm so much older than anybody here, or even older than anybody here. Uh, it was like the Monkeys and Batman '66, and because we didn't, my parents didn't get cable till I like moved out of the house at 19, so I had the five channels until they added like two other ones. So it was watching old school stuff like that, and nowadays you try to find something, it's hard to find. It's hard, like you really got to search for some of this stuff. But yeah, that's the other thing at NYCC that was cool was Gunn is like David's gonna blow everyone away, and everyone's gonna love Rachel Brosnahan. And again, to be fair, I don't know much of David's work, but I have watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and she is fantastic in that show. So, and I love Amy Adams, but Amy was a little bit of a miscast for me too. Like that first Man of Steel movie, it was so funny because there were so many characters from Smallville that had roles in the movie that it's look it up when you get a chance. Smallville characters in the Man of Steel movie. There's a ton of them. Remember the Superman public domain thing? I heard something about that, but I never really paid too much attention to that. Johnny. Yep. Exactly. I watched all that stuff. That's again. I made that point the last time we hung out with Sean. It's weird when I hear people call certain characters D-list characters, but then I believe it was Randy. It was either Randy or Nope. I think told me that they were going off sales because it was weird to me hearing somebody be like Iron Man, Iron Man. Who knows him? The kid who watched all the cartoons as a kid. I watched all that stuff, the Fantastic Fours and stuff like that. We didn't have a whole lot of DC cartoons, really. It did, and I could swear there was one before Batman the Animated Series, but I wouldn't be able to tell you if there was or not. They really were, and even sometimes on Sunday, because we had Sunday cartoons for a little bit before golf came on for the rest of the day. No offense to anyone who likes golf, uh, just wasn't for me. But yeah, there's things like that. There you go. Oh yeah. See, I get to blabbing sometimes, and I forget to do important stuff like that. I do that at my job, but I don't do it for myself. Yes, if you could hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, if you'd like to. If not, it's cool. Uh, if you saw earlier in the chat, Aquaman was yeah. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. The Super Friends. I can't believe I forgot about. That's crazy. I can't believe. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, I can't believe I forgot any of that stuff. But yeah, if you could hit all those buttons for me, that'd be awesome. Appreciate everybody being here. Like I said, if you're new here and you don't know me, a lot of these folks, Johnny, they come from my job on the Experience, where I'm a producer behind the scenes. A lot of great folks, very welcoming community, and I'm so fortunate that you folks followed me over here. I appreciate that so much. So, hopefully, Johnny, you see that me and Sean and my wife will eventually. She doesn't come on screen very much, but we're kind of we try to keep it as positive as we can. There are things we don't like, but we don't like to harp on them. And that's kind of what I want people to understand. If you don't like something, cool, but let's not dwell on it. Let's talk about more positive stuff. Because like I said, you watch some of these folks and it's so negative, and it just makes you feel like, wow, I don't like this, so there's something wrong with me, or I do like this, and there's something wrong with me, and nobody should feel like that. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Bearded. I appreciate you, brother, showing up, man. That means the world to me. It really does. And if anybody in here hasn't subbed to Bearded Comic Bro, this man does amazing interviews. He really does. He gets some great people. So go make sure you go check him out. Got to see. I don't know how I got to see all the one. Nope. And Johnny, I'll get to you in just a second, brother. Same here. Nope. Like it's weird. Like I saw Captain Caveman and Quick Jaw McGraw and all of those folks. The fact I missed out on Space Ghost is what gets me. Like I knew all these other characters, but I don't remember where I watched them. I just know that I've seen them. So, and Johnny, if that's something that you dream to do, man, get in some, get in some chat or not chats. I'm sorry, like forums and stuff, and ask around. The worst anybody can ever tell you is no. You might be able to find you somebody to help you. Thundar the Barbarian. See, I vaguely remember that one, but I mean, it was yeah. There you go, Huckleberry Hound. Ooh, that was weird. Huckleberry Hound. Spider Man is that Eddie? Is that the one that also had Iceman in it? Like I always felt like that was a weird combo. Spider Man, Iceman, Speedboat, and then all the weird. Hey, there you go. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, and then there was all those Scooby Doo ripoffs because there was also one my mom got me when I was a kid called Fang Face. I was like, this feels like Scooby Doo except with a werewolf. So Iceman and Firestar. Yep, okay. I remember that. I was just like, man, what is that? That's I never thought about the connected stuff when I was a kid. That's the thing. It wasn't until we really started connecting movies and I really got into certain comics. They all live. That's right. They all live with Aunt May. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I have so many comics. I don't remember a lot of stuff that I've read. Like I have to once I start rereading something, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I read this already. I just don't have a very good memory when it comes to comic books. Ask me for the code of Land O'Lakes Cheddarella when I was, when I first started working at my deli job, 4258. I can remember that. Ask me what I read yesterday. No clue. And Miss Lion. I don't know if I remember that one, EJB. Not that I doubt you. I don't like there's some of these characters that like it's weird the characters that I remember and then the ones that I don't. Like Johnny Quest. Dude, I wore out my Johnny Quest movie like tape. I wore that out. There was a GI GI Joe has nothing to do with Hanna Barbera, but I had a tape like that I wore out too. But there's some of the stuff that people tell me, and I'm like, right, I don't remember that, but do you remember when they made like every character a kid? Like Tom and Jerry kids, which I know that's not Hanna Barbera, but then you had the Flintstone kids, and you had Kid Yogi, and oh, see, yeah, see, I remember the three main ones. I just don't know how I didn't remember the dog. Yeah, I thought I saw a Catman before. I'll tell you this, man. Folks that do streams all the time, they're they gotta have a good plan. I need to start drinking more water, is what it is. I'm over here drinking tea and talking. Like I said, I'm hopefully next time we're on here, Sean can be on here. That way he can kind of take the conversation a little bit, or eventually, hopefully, uh, maybe not this time because I'm not going to be on too much longer. Probably not the 2 hours that I was with Sean, but I'll be on for just a little while. Maybe hopefully one day get one of y'all to come on here. Just talk because I really want autocorrect is no one's friend. EJB, no one's. I really want to get fans of stuff on the show so I can talk to them. Face to screen, screen to face. But Eddie, that was the coolest part too. And also, real quick, just in case you hadn't noticed, I have the chat up here. Everybody can see, right? You'll probably notice that the actual YouTube chat there is a tremendous lag between. I think it's like 12 to 15 seconds, something like that. So if I don't answer you right away, just give me a second. I promise you, I'm going to try to get to everybody's comments. Oh, well, I mean, feel free to chat in here and chat. I want the chat to be able to chat with each other too. Like, it's cool. You answer me, you ask me questions, we go back and forth. Awesome. But I really want the chat to like, if you guys want to talk about something, talk amongst yourselves. Oh, that part was the boring part. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood what you said, Johnny. Okay, I got you. Oh, yeah, Eddie, that's Yeah, you're right. Oh, whatever, Randy. You know what? Well, I've said this before, and I'm gonna make the offer to everyone eventually, not anytime soon, because we're still working out the kinks, Sean and I, with this thing. But we'd like to have people on, and you know what? You don't have to turn your camera on. It'd be like, Eddie, didn't you call in to Kyle's show one time? I believe you did. It's been so long, brother. I can't remember if you called in to Kyle that one time. But yeah, you wouldn't have to show your face. You have a little avatar here. I'll show you right now what it looks like. See, you can turn it off, and we can just go like that if you want to talk. I want to make sure that you know a lot of you that I see on the other shows collect stuff, and I want to talk to you about. And then then we got folks in here that are new here, and I appreciate you guys showing up. It means a lot. Oh well, Johnny, I try to get to everybody. There's probably gonna be a time or two I miss, but I try to get to everybody. Sometimes that messes me up, but you know what? I don't care. I can always go back to another point. Okay, Eddie, you have called in a few times. Well, I have a microphone, but you don't have to have one because I've used my laptop before without having a microphone hooked up. So that would work. If that's what you're asking, if I'm understanding what you're asking, Mr. Nope. Because like if I were to unplug my mic, my oh my goodness, my webcam. That's what I was trying to say. My webcam still has a microphone in it. Oh, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I know. It feels kind of weird, Johnny. Like I totally understand that. There's times you go into a stream and you kind of wonder why are they even streaming if they're not going to talk to the chat, or why have the chat on or anything like that. Yeah, yeah, Randy. I don't use my phone very often for this, but I think they use the headphones because I don't know why I don't get the echo that other people do. But there are times where you'll see folks on the experience wearing headphones to block the echo, but I I don't get the echo, so I'm not sure what happens or what's so different about my setup that they don't. But I think they wear headphones to not hear the echo. Okay. So let's see. I had something else here in my on my docket, and that is I'm going to drop a couple links in the chat. I got some friends that have some Kickstarters going. If anybody is interested in checking them out, we got some from Bad Bug. This one is Xenogeist. Yeah, my room is carpeted, and I never even knew that about the helping with the echo. Nope, that's actually new to me. Thanks. I knew nothing about that. And Johnny, 100%. I really like. I don't know too much about Vertigo. I'm going to be honest, but like the Milestone folks, like Icon and Rocket, people like that. I would love to see folks like that join. Let's see what else I got. We got, see the Zenith guys. Then I have from my buddies Alan and Will, who also are a part of Bad Bug. We got, this is going to be Pocus. Where you got? It's going to be Pocus Hocus number 6. It's a series I've been following for a long, long time. Long, maybe like 2 years. But great folks. These are both Bad Bug books. Yo, nope. To be honest with you, brother, I didn't. I mean, I kind of knew something sort of like that, but I didn't realize it was like that significant. That's good to know. Okay. All right. I at least know V for Vendetta through the movies. Unfortunately, I've never actually read the series. That's another series that I'd really like to read. I'd really like to read. And then we got here's some Kickstarters that haven't started yet, but if you felt like checking it out and hitting that save, to remind you, I got 3 of those. Green Hornet and Men in Black? Huh. Well, Johnny, you just dropping the knowledge, man. I didn't know anything about that. So that one I just dropped was for Frank Gogel's No Heroine Second Chances. No Heroine's a fantastic book. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here, Eddie. I know it's getting late for you, and you got a lot of stuff going on. Man, hail the Trivia King. You take care. All right. This one is another pre-save one. It's for Bigfoot Knows Karate. Chapter 3. This was a book that Sean and I were kind of trolling through Kickstarter, which we used to do a lot. And he found this thing called Bigfoot Knows Karate. And basically what it said on the cover is what it was, what the book was. But it's actually, when we talked to the creators, Dan Price and Casey Allen, it was that and so much more. Like, the book had a holy crap moment near the end of it, or not near the end of it, but like the last like 6 pages. We started turning, we were just like, holy crap, like every single time. So there's that. The Pocus Hocus one is done by Alan Dunford and Will Radford. Zeitgeist, I cannot remember off the top of my head right now who did that one. The other one was Frank Gogol. And this last one I'm going to do. So I was showing the... sorry, let me find it. It's weird producing and doing the show at the same time. So kudos to folks who can do that. I'm used to doing one or the other. Yes. Lorena, I think you'll really dig it. I really do. It's a really good book, and Dan is wonderful. I haven't had a chance to meet Casey face to face, but I've gotten to hang out with Dan at Comic Palooza here in Texas. So this is by Garrett Gunn, and this is the first thing that Jenna bought from the comic book shop that was Garrett Gunn that I read and made me fall in love with Garrett Gunn. And this is a continuation of his series, Warcorns. And if you haven't read Warcorns, you need to. It's amazing. It's so fun. It's such a fun book. Garrett's super talented. So pre-save all those. Go check them out if you want to. If you're into Kickstarter, check those out. Yeah, that would be. See, it's weird. I thought Dynamite had the Green Hornet, but you're more than likely right. I don't really pay that much attention to every character. So you're probably right on that. Yeah, but that's like I said, that's just if you're into Kickstarter, or if maybe you've never checked out Kickstarter, give it a shot. They got some really cool stuff in there. You know, it's creator owned. It's, you know, they fund it themselves. Or they fund it themselves. Sorry, again, super tired. They take the funds and they basically, after they get done with their books, anything left over they reinvest into the next book. So, like I said, Kickstarter is great, but it's also kind of like being a comic collector, but a little more expensive, because once you get one issue, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, I can wait till they do a trade, because sometimes they don't get a trade. But do me a favor, check any of those out. Um, Follow the creators. A lot of them, not like it's like a weird. Okay, so Dynamite used to have the green. Okay, then Johnny's probably right then. Peacemaker and Gentleman Ghost, and the question was it. That's right. Okay. They weren't. They weren't originally DC, but they weren't part of that. Charl. Oh, I can never say it. Charlton's comics. They weren't part of that, right? That was things like Captain Marvel and some of those, right? Or were they part of that? Like I said, I don't know. The only thing I know about Peacemaker is he's a lot different than the one that James Gunn made famous. Like that's literally all I know is how he wasn't like that in the comics, but until Kyle Starks and Garth Ennis, I believe. So if you're somebody that like loves little thing I want to throw out here, if you're somebody that really loves Peacemaker, you should really check out Kyle Stark's Peacemaker Tries Hard, because that is very in line with that character. And I've said before, and again, I can't remember if I've said it on the stream or not. I hope we get to a point where the comics and the characters from the movies kind of start meshing a little more. I know there's a lot of folks that they go and they watch a movie and they're like, "Wow, I love this movie and I want to go check out this character," and then you find out the character is nothing like how they've been portrayed on screen. And everybody's got to be updated. I know that we're not always going to have the same person in the comic. Okay, cool, thank you. Like I couldn't remember, so thank you. Now I know they're not always going to be like they are in the comic. So if we can start making them a little closer, I think that would be helpful too. Because at the end of the day, we kind of want the movies to drive people to the comics, because the comics is the part that's going to have to keep growing for all this other stuff to happen. Okay, so Peacemaker was Charlton or Charlton? No, I think it's Charlton. I think that's how you say it. Maybe. Oh. Okay, I'll tell you this. There are certain comics where Deadpool's kind of not as great, but I know what you're trying to do. And see, that's another character that I need to check out, because I don't know anything about Animal Man at all. So that's another character I need to give a shot, because I hear people talking about him now. Yeah, this is another list. It's That's the best thing about comics though, is somebody can always name a character where I'm like, wow, I've never heard of them. I know. Oh, Randy, you're always funny, man. Like if you could see me behind the scenes of Nancy's show sometimes, dude, I'm laughing so hard I'm choking. But yeah, you know what? That would be cool. And again, Vixen is one of those characters that I kind of only knew because of the CW Arrowverse. But once I did, I was like, man, that's actually a pretty dope character. She did kind of remind me a little bit of Brave Star, the cartoon, but I thought she was a cool character. And if they have, yeah, similar powers, that probably would make for a good show. I'm still trying to find out who owns the rights to the Greatest American Hero. Because if I can get Nick and Dynamite to make me some Greatest American Hero comics, I'd be set. So, I guess something I'd like to ask people out there: is there something I'm Morrison hardcover, but it's still shrink wrapped? Hey, no shame in that, boss. I have some books that I'm like I've read them before, like single issues, but I went out and bought the hardcovers and haven't unwrapped them yet. See, I didn't know that one either. Huh. Oh, nope, I got you. I got who you're talking about. Who okay, if there was a character you could pick in Marvel or DC, there's a character that has not been live action yet. Who would you pick? I'm really curious because I have quite a few myself. I've said them a bunch because I really want like a question dead man kind of like detective show or movie or Etrigan. I think it's Etrigan. And, you know, the creeper, and I do kind of want smaller people like that. They don't have to be movies, but like special presentations would be cool. If DC is going to go that route, I kind of wish, or I kind of hope that they'll use Max to do stuff like that. Goon, okay. Goon is something that I again I've heard of it, but I've only read one or maybe three issues of it. But I will say what I read I liked. I'm trying to remember who does Goon. Is that Albatross, or is that something completely different? I said because you look at it. I don't think Gunn has released the rest of this slate. 100% nope. I think this was still only part of the slate. And if it is, there's some bangers on there. There's some stuff that looks amazing. And yes, dude, I was so upset when like that new Age of Heroes stuff that they did. Sideways was my favorite one. I liked them. I liked almost all of them. Well, actually, I liked all of them. I should say I liked all of them. Silencer wasn't exactly a newer character because I think they used her in the Longbow Hunters, but like Brimstone and Damage. Okay, used to be Albatross. It's Dark Horse now. That's right. Sideways was my favorite out of those. I really dug that character. I wish he would have stayed. I wish they would have found a way. Like liked all the other characters, but I really liked Sideways, and I was so upset when they like just decided, we're done with them. But yeah, just like you know, DC needs to start getting out into space. Um, I really wish that they get on a more supernatural feel. You know, Justice League Dark. There was supposed to be a Justice League Dark movie, and that you know, again, the DCEU had plenty of stuff that it got announced, but nothing ever came of it. That's the slate constantly changed, and the one that Gunn's doing can constantly change too. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but there's just certain things that I hope that they go for. Like, I want to see some really out there stuff. I really want to see some stuff that's just like, wow. Yeah, yeah. I think I said that a couple, like in not last week because I wasn't here, the week before, when I said, man, you know, with somebody who has such this, like, we boast he's got the biggest, like, and best roads gallery, we use the same four people every time. It's time for some new ones. See, Dial H for Hero is one that I need to write down because I've heard of it, but I've never read anything from it. So that's another one I need to eventually get written down. So I tell you what, man, I love I love hearing this stuff, y'all. I love it because I'm getting ideas. It's a dark storyline. Do you remember the phone dial it gave? Oh, okay. Okay. You were answering Johnny. I didn't see Johnny's comment there. Yeah, I've never I've heard of Dial H for Hero, but I've never read it. But that is one that I need. There's so much stuff, you know. Again, I tell people all the time. It sometimes it feels like I'm not actually a comic book fan. I promise you, I am. Been reading comics for well over 30 years. I just can't remember things. It's the weirdest thing how I can read so much and remember so little. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff that I just like. Wow, I've never heard of that. Phantom. Now is that purple suited Phantom or is that a different Phantom, Randy? Or is Phantom not the Phantom I'm thinking of? Oh, okay. Now I got you. I got you. You okay? Yeah. Okay. Purple suited. Duo on City Boy. I think Miss Jen has read that book on our Minute to Skim It show before, so I think I've heard of that one. I really dug, you know, when they were doing all the rebirth stuff. You know, when we had, you know, what was it? All new Superman. Not because all new, all different was Marvel, but I can't remember what they called the Superman and stuff like that. Purple suit, yeah, purple suited. Like I said, this has the potential. This new DCU, this has the potential to be something great and something that everybody can get behind. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there's always going to be naysayers, folks. Like that's that's just the way that it is. You know, there's always going to be people bad mouthing things, but maybe this will be good enough to where people start, you know, kind of getting behind DC because DC really needs a win. Huh. Yeah, Johnny, I'm definitely going to look that one up because I think I've heard of that one, but I'm not 100% sure. Flash Rebirth was good. Yes. Flash Rebirth was good. And I was telling Sean and I had a thing going on where he forgot what the Rebirth suit was. Sean's never been a fan of the trunks. Okay. Me, always trunks. When the trunks were taken off, I was like, where are the trunks? Then we got the new 52 suit. And I'm going to be honest, wasn't a fan, don't like the collar. Said that before. But the Rebirth Superman suit, I think, is really good. And the story's really good. The one thing that was weird to me, like I said earlier, was the fact that we went into this metal, and then there was like dark metal, and then there was like Dark Knights metal, and then there was random things like zombie or DC versus vampires, which it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. It's just we went in a lot of weird directions with DC. Yeah, really. That was one of the things I said a long time ago. I was like, DC has the blueprint with their animated stuff. I don't get it. I didn't get it. I understand, like, I didn't. I loved the DCEU stuff, like I said before, but I could definitely pick out stuff that was wrong with it. There was a lot of stuff that was wrong. I enjoyed it, but I could still be like, they could have done this better. This could have been done better. And Marvel, I'm going to be honest with you, outside of like Ultimate Spider-Man, or like there was an Avengers cartoon, I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't Earth Mightiest Heroes, it was something else, but they all connected on Disney. I didn't really like the Marvel animated movies. I wasn't a big fan of them. And you might hear a dog outside barking. He's a goober. Yeah, and it's one of those things like when they started doing the Tomorrowverse, that I believe started with Man of Tomorrow. Uh, they started with that thick animation, like the thick lines on the outside. I really dug that, but I heard a lot of people didn't like the new animation. And again, that's fine. That just shows that not everything is going to be for everybody. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, the title sounds so familiar that I'm gonna have to look it up after the show here. Whoop! Almost knocked my mic off. No, no, hey, no, Johnny, you're fine, man. Like I said, I love learning new stuff, dude. There's you know, I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything, and I never will claim to know everything. But it's cool. It's cool learning new things, man. I like this is what I like to do. So never be sorry, man. You're explaining what's going on. That's cool. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. DC, no, DC animated is always on point. Yeah. So the ones that I really liked though, like Man of Tomorrow for me was dope. I really liked it. Having Parasite for once, and then having Lobo, awesome. But Flashpoint, I really dug that one. Huh? They could do that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that. So, Johnny, in case you didn't know, which you probably didn't, or I didn't say it earlier, I actually work for a channel called The Experience. Um, it's like sales shows, interview shows, quiz shows, stuff like that. Stuff going on all week. I'm a producer behind the scenes, but I'm also on a show on Tuesday called Minute to Skim It. And my boss, one of my bosses, one of the people I'm on the show with, she runs a comic book store. So she gets to read DC and Marvel. Me or the other person, the other producer that's on it, we switch off usually, or it could be all three of us. We get to read like all the indie stuff and things like that. I'm pretty sure she's read that Duo and City Boy comic. I'm pretty sure she has. I'm just not remembering it, but I am going to look it up after. Yeah, it's like I didn't want them to necessarily follow the Marvel formula, but the rushing of, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then here's Justice League. Not every single solitary character needs to have a solo film, but I mean, maybe not go backwards. Maybe not do two of them, show three of them on a flash drive, and then next thing you know, we got another movie. Now, Johnny, should he be the Iron Spider, or should he be totally awesome Hulk? Is my question to that. Nope. I was hoping they were going to do that too. You know, I thought the Flash movie was supposed to be Flashpoint, and there's all these rumors going on. It ended up not happening that way. And it still didn't feel like it really reset anything. All it did was make Clooney that universe's Batman. Or he was in the universe where Clooney was Batman. So I didn't really. Hmm. Hercules. Well, speak of the legend herself, and she arrives. Johnny, when you say Hercules, was that the same Hercules that they showed? I think in the end of was it Love and Thunder? Like I'm gonna be super super honest. Newer stuff from DC and Marvel outside of like Absolute Batman and a couple of things, I don't really keep up with. So there's a lot of newer stuff when it comes to those that I'm not really sure. There was one time. Oh, okay, okay, I got you. I got you. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a joke I'm gonna have to tell her later. Let her in on that later. Hmm. There's something that I've been thinking of also. Well, the Valiant universe didn't get. Look, did I hate the movie? Not at all. I liked it, but I'm also like, if we do another Bloodshot, can we reboot it with somebody else? Because Vin Diesel, I don't know. No hate to Vin Diesel, but I kind of wish we would have gone in a different direction with that movie. But I kind of wish there was more comic universes. They don't have, and I don't mean a connected, like they don't have to be a connected one, but having Image do movies and TV shows and stuff, having very small indie people like Comics Tribe. If you've never read any Comics Tribe books, check them out. A lot of their stuff is just ripe for being a series. They got one called The Red 10 that's like a Agatha Christie murder mystery with superheroes. Excellent. See, I've heard different things about that, Johnny. Um, it's the same reason they can't just go ahead and use Miles, because I thought, if MCU is using Peter Parker, then couldn't Sony just use Miles? but there might be some kind of deal where they can't use Miles. I don't know. I wish I knew. Yes, I was in the play place with my laptop using their Wi-Fi, and people were asking me where my supervision was because I was turned around. They couldn't see the scruff, so they thought I was a little kid and I just didn't have any supervision. And I was like, "Well, she's at work." So technically, I think Randy said she was at work, or maybe it was Nope. Yesterday just feels so far away. If I'm being honest, a lot of stuff has happened since then. Yeah, I it's hiding in the slide. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I wish more studios would do stuff like this. Like if you're gonna share characters in a universe, why not just let them play in both? You'd make truckloads of money. Like, look, I know people don't like the Sony movies. I know they don't. I want to watch Craven just because it's rated R, and I want to see him bite people's noses off. She's working. Huh. Um, I really dug the first Venom movie. I know a lot of people didn't, and that's okay. Again, it's fine. Venom, the first one, was amazing. I loved it. Morbius really let me down. I mean, we Jenna could barely finish it. I finished it. I was just like, man, there's just so much missing from this movie. This movie could have been so much better. And Madam Web, I haven't watched yet, so I can't pass judgment on it. I hear it's terrible, but I always got to watch stuff for myself. But how much money do you think they could have made having Tom Holland, Tom Hardy, Venom Spidey? Was it? I see. I've been hearing good things about it, but it's one of those like I always have to watch stuff for myself. But it's good to know people are a little higher on it than they were on Let There Be Carnage. And I didn't hate Let There Be Carnage either. But once again, it just felt like there was so much missing. And I thought with Andy Serkis directing it that it was just going to smash, and it didn't. I like Woody Harrelson, but I don't think he was a good Cletus. I would have rather them use Jackie Earle Haley for Cletus, to be honest with you. Yeah, yeah, Jenna, that is kind of how it felt like. I didn't dislike it to the point where I could never watch it again, but it was like I can't really defend people who really didn't like it who because I can understand. Go ahead and put my folder. I have my notes like sitting here on my desk. Oh, cool. Very cool. Two in credit, mid and after credit. I want to see. Yes, I want to see the cutting room floor too. Because I mean, they're just like Morbius. Man, Morbius again. That movie had the potential to be great, but it feels like he went from like regular Morbius to like the Morbius we know from the comics, super fast, like really really fast. Like there was no time for really anything. He was just on it. But again, they're not going to be for everybody, and I know that there's some people that solely dislike those movies because they weren't MCU proper. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hate it, or I didn't hate it, but to me, it just felt like there was a lot missing. Like it just feels like somebody studio wise probably got way too involved and took stuff out. Oh, cool. That's good to hear. Like again, like there's not too many superhero movies that I'm like, wow, I hate this. Like Morbius, just not one that I would keep watching. See, and the weird thing about the Craven movie is they're not using Craven, they're using Craven's son. Oh, you must be okay. You must be computer working. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by, even if you are in the living room in the chair. Um, but it's kind of weird that they went that route. That it's like his son, and he's animal, like kind of like an animal rights activist. It makes me feel, and like he was bitten by a tiger. I don't know, bitten by a lion. Yeah. See, Sydney Sweeney, I think would make an excellent Black Cat, or well, not really Gwen Stacy. I'm a Gwen Stacy over Mary Jane fan. I like Mary Jane, but there's something about Gwen Stacy that I've always loved. But yeah, I'm still gonna watch it. Like I gotta see. Just like I'm gonna watch Joker, which I still don't think that Joker needed a sequel. I don't. I think the first one was fine. They should have left it there. Yes. See, and it's weird. I know I'm wearing the Man of Steel one because Sean just got this for me. Like it feels weird that I'd rather wear this and the older logos. Oh, Johnny, actually, that wouldn't be half bad. We have shorts where we do like a fan cast where we did fan castings, and I have Power Girl in one of them, but I cannot for the life of me remember who I fan cast. But I can see Sydney Sweeney as a lot of people though. So, but anyway, like this and the older logos, I don't dig. I don't dig the new logo. Like it's not for me. It's gonna be somebody's logo. Somebody's gonna love that, and I'm happy for that. The logo is just not for me. Like if they're gonna do that, just give me the regular Kingdom Come logo. Well, and that's Randy. That's fair. I I'll see it when it's not where I have to pay for it. Uh, because I wonder why. Like what was the thought process? You had like a great, well, for me and Jenna, we went and saw the first one in theaters. We really liked it. We get you're not supposed to like it, some weird thing like that, but we dug it. Who could okay? Who could you see him playing in the DCU? Do you have a character in mind for Ed Norton? I'm just curious because like I I wouldn't mind seeing him in the DCU either. I do wish though that we would get some. I mean, we're kind of getting some new faces, but I was kind of really hoping that most of these heroes would be like they don't have to be super young. They don't all have to be in their 30s. But I was kind of hoping that we were gonna cast more. Well, there's kind of a good mix of known and unknown in Superman. And then I guess people knew Kyle Chandler, and Aaron Pierre was the newcomer. Norton is Sinestro? Okay. So that gives me Riddler the Question. Ooh, those are actually all good. A Doctor Fate. Oh man. Now y'all really got me thinking. That was yeah. Yes, I am a little sad that that's the only time we're gonna see Pierce Brosnan is Doctor Fate. See, I had a Riddler casting, but I feel bad because I can't remember the actor's name. But he was on House of the Dragon in the later episodes. But I can't remember the guy's name. But he ended up getting his eye stabbed out, so he's wearing an eye patch. That too. Like I could see him being I can see him being the Question. And it's weird that I've always felt the Question was like almost like Rorschach in a way. Not as violent, not as well. I would say not as much as a conspiracy theorist, but it's the Question. So yeah, but it just kind of felt like it was yeah. There you go. Thank you. Nope. I can't, man. This is what happens when I did a fan cast of him and Mad Hatter, and I used low hanging fruit, but Bill Skarsgård for Mad Hatter. But I'm just a Bill Skarsgård fan. See, that would be a good one too. See, I had again. That's another character that I fan cast, and I had Neil Patrick Harris, but I think Norton. I think Norton might be a better pick. And Edward Norton could just play everybody. Jeez, he's almost Mark Strong in this thing. Because in my opinion, Mark Strong is just like you want him to play a teacup, he's got it. You want him to play Jay right now, he's got it. Like Mark Strong's just that guy to me. But I haven't heard a bad suggestion for Ed Norton yet in the chat, so you guys are definitely killing it on that front. Johnny, Johnny, let me ask you something. Is it cool to call you Johnny, or would you rather be called Johnny Dome? Like, let me know because I've been calling you Johnny this whole time, and I never asked you which was if that was okay or not. But also, have I seen you in? And I'm going to name one just in case. Slav Talks or Slavs Talk, because I'm in his stream a little bit. I was thinking a smart character because motherless Brooklyn. That is, yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. Well, yeah, but I think he's also one of those. Yeah, okay, I have seen you in there. Yeah. Um, but see, yeah, he is, but he kind of feels like unless you're talking height wise, then I totally get what you're saying. But he feels like one of those actors who could like fill himself out if he needs to. Because I don't have a point of reference for being short because I'm already there. So I don't know what exactly is short. Man, there's a lot of good answers, y'all. Like, man, you make me want to rethink half the characters I fan casted. Huh. Yeah, because I mean, he's wearing a suit. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, he's wearing a suit, but yeah, see? Huh. An elongated man. See, you know, the problem may be that Norton's kind of small, but y'all are kind of picking around people that I could definitely see him being. Like I used to have, and I don't have it anymore, but I had like a written list of like dream projects. One of them was a Deadpool movie, so that happened. Another one was Old Man Logan. With Logan, that happened for me. Um, Kingdom Come was another one, but I've been wanting the Lanterns for a while because I want to eventually get to Blackest Night. Whether that's an animated movie or or a regular movie. See, at Plastic Man, I had Ben Schwartz, or if he couldn't do it, I think I did Austin Butler. But excuse me, like I really like Ben Schwartz for Plastic Man. Yeah, Johnny, it's I. Part of me gets that, and part of me is just like, you're an actor, you're going to be in a like, hopefully, if you do it right, like $1 billion franchise. Like, why wouldn't you want to give it a shot? But it's preference. I get it. There was some other actor that everybody wanted him to play a superhero, but he said he would never play a superhero. I can't remember who exactly it is, but they've been like quoted saying, "I'll never be a superhero." But then you also have actors like Derek Thieler, who got to play Exo Manowar in the Ninjak versus the Valiant universe that I think you can still watch on YouTube. He has literally said, "I became an actor to be a superhero." So I know, like, yeah, and see, not to get too. That's true. They could always change the costume, Johnny. Not to get too into that, Mister Nope. It's one of those instances that, unfortunately, things that he did in the past caught up with him. Things that he said online, and my only issue with that is, yes, when somebody says some messed up stuff, you should be held accountable, but we should also recognize that people can grow. That something you did, you're not the same person you were 2 years ago. That's my issue with that is people. He lost his job, all that stuff. I thought he was fantastic, but again, he owned up to what he did. But it's one of those things where I hope we as a society one day can like move forward and like forgive people when they've done, because some people have. There have been people today that everybody loves that back in the day, Like, I never thought in my life that Snoop Dogg was going to be everyone's favorite grandpa. That was not on my bingo card ever. Awesome movie or series. Yep. Hush 2 is coming. Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, I think, are coming back to do that. Yeah, Mr. Nope. He said some messed up, very sexist stuff as jokes on Twitter, and somebody dug them up, and again, I that's my personal thing, man. I think everybody should be able to be forgiven and to be, hey, this person has grown since then. That's just my personal thing. You should still have consequences for actions 100%, but I think forgiveness should be, given a little bit more these days. But that's just me. And see, there's the thing, like, there shouldn't be any hate. I mean, he's cameoed in Harley Quinn. There shouldn't be any hate. And was I a person that was like, man, his wife is kind of in everything? Yes, I will admit to that. But she's also a fantastic actress, so I can't, I can't take that away from her. She's a great actress. But I was in the camp. I can be the big person and admit that I was in the camp that's like, man, she's kind of cameoing in everything. But it's all right. Yeah, exactly. Just looking at stuff over here. Well, it's like almost at the 2 hour mark. I can't believe I was able to talk Yun doing the Stanley cameos. I hope they find something like that again, because I always thought those were fun. So we're coming up to the top of 2 hours. I can't believe I was able to talk for this long. My voice is fixing to go out. But we're gonna start wrapping it up here, folks. I appreciate all of you for showing up. Uh, Thank you so much for being here the whole time. Like, you know, everybody that came in, I appreciate it. If you watch this on the rewind, okay, I'm not like, oh, you abandoned me. No, I know life happens and stuff. So, but for y'all that stayed here till the end here, man, I really appreciate this, and hopefully we'll get Sean next Tuesday. Um, and we can do this all again. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. I might actually finally get his thoughts on uh on Absolute Batman, since he's finally read it. I'm definitely going to write down, before I close this out. I'm going to go back through some of the comments, and I forgot you can star these too. Oh, thank you, AJB. Thank you, Mr. Nope. I appreciate that. So, like, that feels good, man. I appreciate that so much. We didn't think anybody would. We thought we might get one or two people, but the fact that folks are showing up for this, I appreciate that so much. But whew, yeah, that voice is going. I could feel it. So, folks, again, thank you so much. Join me next week. Hopefully, Sean will be here. If not, we'll just do the same thing we did here and just talk. So, everyone, take care. Have a safe and awesome rest of your night and weekend. And some of you I'll see during the week. Some of you I'll see next week. But take care.